So I'm having a mental relapse. It has nothing to do with drinking, that's for sure. But I figured why the hell not bring out my book from Detox anyway, because hey, everything had information. So I haven't gotten over this since I went to Detox. Anybody thinking about wanting to go to Detox, it's a great place to go. I went to Larson's place in Saskatoon, and they treated me like gold. Like they treat you like family. You don't have to worry. Very one-on-one. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed being there, that's for sure. And hey, made me sober. So the short-term goals that they learn right away is called SMART, and it's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. So it has to be like realistic goals. So for me, I put down weight loss, going back to boxing, artwork, going on or working on house, and getting income because I wasn't working at the time. And then you have to work on healthy boundaries, then and because that's what protects us and puts us in our position to enjoy our life. There's a thing called TED Talks, and it's on Google. So if anybody's interested, I've been told about that one. I've never looked into that. Um, and then they have this like circle where it's like your physical, your social, your mental, and your spiritual is what you should work on, all four, because you need all four to balance out properly. Um, and obviously it's change. So we're elevated our stress and we have denial because of our behavior changes and our social breakdowns, but it leads to loss of structure, loss of judgment, and loss of control. So find smart or replacement things. And for me, it was art. And then depending on the cities you're in, obviously everybody's going to have maybe better maybe places to go, like instead of just mental health. North Alford is shit. We have nothing here to offer. Whereas if you go to Saskatoon or Regina, you got way better options. You go to somebody like Calgary or Edmonton. Oh my God, the outreach programs are amazing. So use them to your advantage wherever you are. Um, and then I went into addiction. Life turns into a shit show. Recovery is the life progressively gets better. Treatment, anything that interrupts your addiction. Detox is outpatient skills and empathetic aggressive intervention. And then it talked about like studies or sturdy stones in Saskatoon and grassroots somewhere. I'm not sure. That must be in Saskatoon too. And some guy named Johann, Johannn, Hari, Hri. Google him. He had some stuff to say too. We listened to some like they played like some stuff they played at class. Sobriety is connecting and bonding. Your social component is huge. You need connections to replace your addiction. Don't get back into the rat cage. Distraction is the only way, so find sober activities, no matter what they are. Crafting, if you want to decide to go skiing or wherever you are, volleyball, depending on your weather. Um, Everything that you think you know about addiction is wrong. So that's a thing that was on YouTube that we watched, and it's so true because yeah, in perceptions for us is completely different when you're actually pointed in black and white and seeing things. It all clicks in, and it's really easy to sober up. It really, really is, and it is easy to stay sober depending on what traumas you have. But if you can get help for that, get help for that. Um, they call it a whole person model there, but it's actually way, way back. It goes into the medicine wheel because it's actually native based, which is your physical, your psychological, your spiritual, and your social. Your whole person, not just physical. You're a car, your body, so you have to have balance throughout your body. Support, because if anything's broken, you just ask for help. Life will still hit you, but you have to keep your car maintained. So no matter what kind of situation your stress is, talk to a counselor or whatever. But make sure you stay balanced. If one of your tires in the car goes flat, recognize which one of this circle, whether it be physical, spiritual, social, or psychological. Figure out which one it is, and that's what you need to work on. Um, and it's not that hard. Physical without nutrition, safety, shelter, and clothing. Psychological is confidence, positive thinking, busy self esteem, self love, self respect, belonging, mental health, and wellness. Social would be family, friends, sponsors, co workers, jobs, finances, education, programs, respect, love, and attitude. Spiritual is everything from cultural belief or culture, beliefs connected to a higher power, nature, and your morals. And again, boundaries for all your circles, cut off to accept or not. So if you just sort of decide that there are people you have to let go of in your life, you do. I came back and gave away 40 friends. It was just like I wiped everybody off because I can't have somebody that's a social drinker or flat out alcoholic like I was. It was like that's not something I can be around. So circle with abuse, your medicine wheel, psychological or physical. You're lethargic, your organs and your mental health are very important. Social, your loss of friends, family, you lose jobs, interactions, you lose your home, legal issues and awkwardness. Psychology, your motivation and your mental health are down. Spiritual, your lack of morals and values and your loss of faith. Because when you're drinking, all that kind of stuff is like obviously altered by or whatever drug you're on. Sorry, this isn't just for an alcoholic, like for whatever drug. Like, I mean, there's people in there with me. I made a really good friend, Shaq, in there, and she was a needle user. I don't know anything about that life, so but I understand that drugs and alcohol are both same thing, addiction. I'm no better than her because I'm just an alcoholic, not shooting needles in my fucking vein. So your recovery circle. So physical, I put down boxing, proper meals, exercise, sleep, work, reason to get up and motivation. Psychological, you have your counselor, mental health, clear thinking, and challenge yourself. Spiritual, higher power, Mother Nature, smudge, sweats, be balanced, and a purpose. Find a purpose of life. Social is talk to proper people, positive influences, co-workers, job counselors, people that are going to do you good. Communication, people don't listen to me. Different styles, so don't assume certain rights when we do talk, because I am Amber, and I need to learn to be heard. Everybody has their own rights. Um, Passive people can become aggressive. Avoiding conflict at all time leads to anger, and then you're just a doormat for people. Um, Aggressive is you never back down. You're always right. You raise your voice, get right in somebody's face. Um, when you become aware of something, you look in the mirror and you change it. The more you learn, the more you can change. Recovery is a very slow process. Change behaviors, act like an adult grown up. Um, the hardest part of the wheel, spirituality, because it keeps you grounded. Can be religion, but not all of it. Pick what works. For me, was Mother Nature. God stands for good, orderly direction. So it doesn't have to be like a Bible God or any Buddha God. It can be whatever the hell you pick as your good, orderly direction. Um, and how you see yourself in the world. Taking away in your true value, loss of beliefs, distancing, loss of culture, guidance, unmanageable. Um, when you're using, you're up here, and when you're down at the very bottom is when you're asking for help. So it's like a V, and then you recover, you come back up. Your morals are lost. You break promises, shame, guilt. You have to make amends. Values, like never steal. Um, I have a 7 secret teachings that says Google and a Valley chart. I haven't looked at those personally, so if you're listening to this, you might want to check that out. Um, Addiction takes away who you are. Need new friendly happiness, become trustworthy. Ask priests about church if that's what helps you, because they would have their own kind of programs, I'm sure. Um, Play safe and get tested. That was all about like people that are sleeping around and sharing needles and stuff. So stay positive, stay spaces. Allow us to all be awesome together. Don't sleep around. Um, Stress management, being alive always. Chronic stress that can't be maintained to balance it. Stressors help or hinder. Negative thinking makes it worse, and change all your stressors. So accepting stress and adapting to change can, um, because you don't want death, rent, or jobless or aging. Recognize catastrophic thinking, like if you can't stop them, but you have to find a way, talk or write it down or reading. Um, any kind of memories or thoughts or anything that pops in your mind. Think of stressors in less problematic ways. You can always change the situation and thought patterns. You just have to change the thought patterns because you get really stuck into that when you're in a detox or No, when you're addicted, when you're actually addicted. I can't should change it to I can. Too busy. We'll break it down into small tasks to get them all done. Negative thoughts of yourself. Look in the mirror every morning and say, beautiful day. And then you train yourself more and more. Like, you feel better about yourself. Just, you need to love yourself, So every day say that you love yourself. You love, sure enough, you're going to believe it, and things do change when you do love yourself. Stress is not threatened for safety. Stress releases toxins. It's so jobs, too many tasks, and bad conversations. You don't want stress for that. You want good stresses like jobs or tests that you can pass or something. Um, to decompress or de-stress chronically, because problem if too much and too long, then the system is overworked and we crash, and that's where you can relapse right in a heartbeat. We are a bridge and we can't overload. Stress, anxiety, frigid, isolate, um, can help depress, trouble sleeping, digestive issues. That's just from stress alone. So, like, you don't even have to be an addict. I mean, everybody's got stress on their table, so deal with it. Stress, I went to alcohol. Healthy ways to deal with stress is eat healthy, talk to others, don't bottle it up, and share things with your counselor. Um, okay, and then the whole body model was take care of yourself as a whole. Find an elder to speak to, um, a counselor, whatever. Journal it. Take a break, like computer or artwork, coloring, dog walking, exercising, sports, swimming, walking, and Mother Nature. Try new things like guitar, puzzles, board games, tons of stuff. Do your own projects. Your medicine wheel, stress affects the whole wheel. And when you're in depression, it's off balance. You end up sleeping too much. Some people don't care about their hygiene and just not talking to anybody. Like when you don't leave your house. I went through that for like a few months where I think I went out to my house 3 times in 2 months. So, because I just have a same thing. Anxiety doesn't allow me to leave my house all the time. Disease concept, is an addiction a disease? The 4 C's of addictions: loss of control, you lose complete control. It's continued, use despite negative consequences. Compulsive, because it's used as a must, and cravings, it's an urge or need. So there's nothing you can do to stop those. It's a disease. So stages. There's experimentation. Start slow tolerance, low spontaneous and social. Regular use. Misuse begins, tolerance increase, slowly still in control. And how little and how much you subtle attitudes change. Harmful use, rituals daily, consume your mind, tolerance is up, withdrawals, solidarity use, isolate yourself, more negative consequences, financial, legal consequences, and stealing. Chemical dependency is daily. Compulsion, no choice or no control. Loss of control. Needed withdrawals, stroke, death, and seizures are your leading. Um, so you have to figure out your pain, your use and your reaction, your temporary relief, your negative consequences, and then the shame, guilt, and the hopelessness that goes along with that. For pain, physical and emotional use for a reason, mask something. They call it the umbrella term. To use mask pain, temporary relief, negative consequences. You upset your friends and family, shame, guilt, and hopelessness. So it's just a cycle. Nothing's ever going to get better. Just going to drink every day or shoot up every day. And it's a complete cycle. The cycle repeats. We must break the cycle to be free. Health Board deems disease, science symptoms, any conditions, specific pain, course, outcome. This is forever and it's out of our control. Loss of control. This is a disease beyond our control. There's no testing the water. You can't think that, oh, maybe today have a shot. It's been 2 years. Should be okay. Um, you're out of commission. You can't test the water. You don't even touch your toe. You don't even walk up to the water because you'll swim again. Um, and then for me, it was current disorders. It helps to, obviously, if you have mental health issues, deal with that. Substance abuse effects. Um, alcohol dependent brain and central system. So hangout, headaches, vomiting, irritability, vision is blurred, alter coordination, blackouts, fatigue, all those kind of jazz. Things that are bad, like it's organ failure, liver disease, cancer, death, inflamed fat, pancreas, high blood pressure. Um, on the P side of it, there's like hallucinations, wet brain, suicidal, clinical depression, anxiety, all that kind of jazz. Weed, they say, is a hallucinogen. I wrote down shit. I just got munchies, lazy, irritable, dilated. I'm not irritable then. Like, sleepy. I I'm not I smoke weed. I believe that it's grown on the ground, and if a doctor prescribes it in BC in 2006 or whatever, here, go home and grow six of your own plants. To me, no, because I'm not mixing it with fentanyl. I know where the weed is. It's got water and treatment to make it grow. That's it. It's clean as can be. So I do smoke weed. That is my controller until these bastards get my pills fixed up. So, um, smudge weekly or smudge daily, whatever works for you. Again, I like the medicine wheel because I'm white as porcelain can be. Hungarian background. I don't know what the hell my dad was. Really don't care. But sure the fuck was an Indian. And I relate to the Cree or Native way very much more because just because of their thoughts of Mother Nature. Not the whole whaling bullshit. I don't think they should do that. But, I do believe in mostly strictly Cree stuff or stuff. So the medicine wheel, when life is chaotic, we have a choice to sober up. Again, it's the physical, spiritual, mental, and emotional. Um, and regain your control and stability. Check in with yourself. Journaling helps. Ask in the morning how you feel, and you tackle the negativity right away. And same at night. How did your day go, and how did you feel? If you're journaling all that, it gets better. You learn kind of what sets you off and not. Here and now, not the future and not the past. Always stay in your present as much as you can. Because if you go either way on the other side of it, it just stresses you out too much. You can't handle shit like that. Um, Mental health is anxiety, mood, impulse, psychotic, complex arena, DSM manual, addiction, fix mental health, coherent disorder, mental health symptoms will come out. So it's like a chicken and egg analogy. Which one comes first? Um, you mask your addictions, the strengths within yourself. You can overdo this. Too much stigma with addictions, mental health. It's okay. It's not okay not to get support for good state. If one of the four make it hard to live with, you could be mental health. So always look at mental health if you can't stay within boundaries. Lots of emotions coming up after detox, definitely. Um, our own capabilities don't work if we turn to addictions. So right out of detox, you need somebody there that's your support system, counselor, friend, family, counselor usually, because an addictions counselor knows what they're doing. Other than Kevin. Anxiety is constant worry, panic attacks, excessive worrying, no matter if they're real or not, overwhelming to deal with. Fight or flee situation comes inappropriate at times, and sometimes I have high anxiety. Uh, General, it feels like you're a hamster running in a reel. My brain just go, 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 go. Social, what are we looking at now? What do I do? As into like making new friends and whatnot. Your phobia is a fear of something or irrational bad memories that can trigger you. It's a downward spiral, so be extremely careful, especially when you're first out. I'm a year out already. My first 60 days were hell, absolute hell. Like a second felt like a fucking year. So I slipped. I slipped on November 4th. So I've been sober since November 4th last year. So a lot of this stuff is like I know that when it's happening, go get help, please. Um, there's grief work, there's depression work, there's tons of different people out there. Um, Apprehensive, sad, heart elevated, blood pressure elevated, PSTD, that can be one. So you're flashing back, can't get over it, associated with addictions, CBD disorder. You need help to change your thoughts. So worthy, is it really worth the worthy? Rent is 3 weeks. If rent is 3 weeks away, why worry right now? Let it all add up. If you put it all together right now and stress it up, it's too overwhelming. Exposure therapy, phobias, because associate with trauma experience, not safe and to self gradually exposed. They think of a bus. It's okay. You look at the pick of the bus or where you want to go. Eventually, get on the bus and go where it's safe, and then get off, and you're fine. Um, for same thing, if you're anxiety and you can't leave the house. For mood, depression, acute sadness, numbness, knowledge, worthless or over feeling that affects your job, short term affects your trauma, or loss of normal, difficult to function, addictions, halt reserve, halts grieve, avoid it. Addictions are gone, but grief will reappear its ugly head with its mask off, so you have to be totally prepared. Um, Sad, no hope in eating, chronic or major can last years. Bipolar high and lows, mania is high, racing thoughts like a yo-yo. You can predict it almost different for everyone. I am bipolar. It's a bitch. Um, Exercise, sleep, and diet important. Help instead of pills. Find natural infidence or endorphins. Helps with your brain restart. So try without pills at first. Always try without pills. I did that. Look at the wall for 5 minutes and what 5 things do you see? And I was like, I got 3 seconds done, dude. Fuck you. I'm doing this shit. So I'm a pill popper. I will be for the rest of my life. Impulsive, ADHD. There's no need to describe it. Doing on the whim, not long-term consequences, and don't get care about it. And I don't get stuck on one thing. OCD, there's no need to worry about that one. Substance and use addiction. You drink, life pushes you out, you drink over and over. Compulsion is used to drinking no matter what the consequence. So you have to get out of that. Psychotic, disconnection from reality, mixes with other three disorders that are cathartic. That's more for drug users. Delusions, not grounded on fact. Paranoia, paranoia. People always out to get me. You think it's true, and aggressive if you think you're challenged. And drug-induced psychosis is different. I didn't write that one down because I didn't. I listened, but I'm not. I've never been into drugs, so not needle drugs like that. I did mushrooms a couple times, but that was just pure for enjoyment, and that wasn't like I'm stuck on that. Communication is huge for you, because if you're passive and you're pushover, easily persuaded, people pleaser, non-confidential, careful, cautious, doormat, stepped on, avoided, you don't want to rock the boat. Don't back down when confronted. You say yes. You're just a yes person. Um, there's aggressive where you're forward, pushing buttons, confrontational, escalate load, get in your face, you're a bully, don't consider consequences, yells at someone, verbally abusive, controlling others, body posture, pointing fingers, judgment, blaming others, and no accountability. Um, for passive aggressive, border on both sides, sneaky and revenge, gossip and manipulative, guilty, you keep the peace but shame, stir the pot, uh, beating around the bush, whatever, plotting, um, assertive, you're communicative is effective. You ask for what you want and what you want out of it. Demanding, express feelings, communicate with cooperation, and open to ideas, constructions to listen to others. Um, that's a you matter, I matter. We should always be assertive in everything. Sometimes personality or learned behavior retrain the brain. Um, Communications formula. I feel so and so, when so and so, because so and so, I prefer so and so. That's how you talk to people, and then it makes it better for you and better for them, and then you don't have those, you know, blow ups like somebody like I would, where you just get right in their face. By all means, yeah, I get right in your face. The drama triangle. There's a persecutor, which is aggressive. There's the victim, the poor me, rescuer that stand up for themselves. You could be two of the multiple people. Once bitten, twice shy. Um, Forgive the reason for yourself, not for them. Don't let anybody else. Don't do it for anybody else. You're holding on to the anger like swallowing poison and expecting the other person to die. So triggers, know your friggin' triggers, your push buttons, people, places, sounds, smells, music, movies. Um, and if it's starting to set you off, switch it right then and there. Change your playmates, places and things, your cravings. If you stay physical, just don't give in to the cravings. Plan what to do for your cravings and triggers. You should always have like somebody there with you. Again, I always go back to the medicine wheel. Um, your self-discipline, whether or not you try to stay on. Um, your for setups, physical, you're hanging out in places, you drive off road, your diet, your sleep, your stress, your mental health, your medication, you can't just quit. So you got to keep everything rolling. Physiological, your thoughts and emotions, positive attitude about recovery, and euphoric recall. Social, new friends. I was bartending. I had lack of supports, social conflict, isolation, lonely, bored, and codependent. Spiritual, I was extremely disconnected. Um, Acute, detox is acute withdrawal. You're shaking, hot, cold, all that kind of jazz comes along with it. They have medication there for you, so actually, when you're coming off, it isn't that bad. Everybody that I was there with, obviously, you're doing the same amount of time, so they didn't have stuff like that either. And then, yeah, it explains all about your dopamine in your brain, which gives you the good feeling. And then with alcohol, it's like all just bad crap. We fill our brain with dopamine from liquor. Brain won't make it our own because now we don't. We're full of this substance, so it doesn't. It's detox. You're not making. It's not being made. Once your brain empties, the substance brain will make its own. Um, so you have to like just prepare for like the overall difference that's going to happen. Post acute, 7 to 10 days detox. Your memory, difficult thinking, struggles first things, your emotions, you're being managed, can't control your moods, overreacting, depression, fear, anxiety, um, remembering childhood major events, physical, sleep and nutrition. Um, be a friend to yourself because I'm my biggest supporter with the help of others. So even if I don't have anybody rallying with me, I can't go oh boo hoo and cry in the wall and what die. No, I don't want to die. I will figure out how to live shittily if I have to, but there's no way I'm going to die or do suicide. So be a big friend to yourself. Um, Again, back to the circle. Physical, get a trainer. Emotional, find friends and get counselor. Spiritual, find a pastor or whatever. Social, I put down my brother Ryan. Um, and then they use the geese analogy, how one flies in the front because the other ones need a break. And then when they full other ones think they can lead the pack, then the other ones back off. That's how you always see that geese take care of each other that way. Um, and then the analogy is that they support each other, they accept help, and they know how to lead. Um, Different personalities or a listener, empathetic. You can cry your own feeling or ask kicker, just believe in us. Um, the thinking circle. Um, the event, the thought, the feeling, and the do. Asking questions, body gesture, stepping back and frowning. Um, don't The event, you don't necessarily deserve it. Did I forget it? What did I do to you? Why? Um, Anxiety, sad, worried, suspicious, grateful, ungrateful thought, defensive feel, hurt, swear, walk away. We do react in a second. That's the problem. So um, it takes a while to stop doing everything like so quickly and not thinking about the consequences in the path. Instead of reacting, step back and think. Negative thoughts in recovery should be positive. Every day, slow your situation down on the train on how you react to events, even on your own feelings to find your triggers. Knowing yourself helps navigate you through life. If it's hysterical, it's my reaction. Um, it's historical. Um, this one was the last day. It was a brutal day. So stages of change. Pre-contemplation, no problem. Everything's fine. contemplation, thinking of quitting, preparation, considering detox or treatment, your action going to detox, using the tools in the toolbox, asking others for help. Maintenance is using your tools for long-term maintaining your recovery, and relapse is a slip or a relapse. Um, and then there's a group out there actually called God, and it's a group of drunks. It's somewhere on Google, apparently. I never got into that one. But uh, leisure activities, for leisure walks, tranquility, watching the sunset, keeping things easy, recreation to go walks, anything kind of sports you can get into. Um, exercise is very important. It keeps your healthy mind and healthy body. Um, why we used. We had time. We were bored, lonely. We were mastering social stuff, anxiety, liquid courage, um, alcohol. Want it now, and you find a healthy replacement now. Drinking fills up all the holes where it used to. Um, God grant me the serenity to accept things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That one is huge. Your sleep, hygiene, and nutrition is huge because you need to definitely take care of yourself in order to do this. Again, it's going to say, we are what we eat. Good food, good mood. And then back to the spiritual wheel again. Because if you're not eating right, then you're tired or lethargic. You know, your psychology or edgy, social instability and isolation, spiritual, you just don't care, stress, worries, alcohol, routine, anticipation, nightmares. Eliminate the best you can. You're definitely going to need help, that's for sure. And then when the day that when I was getting picked up, I had a ride coming from North Battleford, so he didn't get there till the afternoon, so I had the opportunity to spend the morning either with them in class again, or I could have just hung out watching TV. And I figured, well, no, I'm here to learn, so why watch a movie when I can learn? And this new guy, I even wrote deja vu because I dreamt of him the night before to a fucking T to the words he was saying in class. It was like nothing like I used to have deja vu a lot when I was a little kid. It was just really cool to have it happen there, and it was just that was my favorite day, and I learned the most that day. Um, boundaries, your personal space. You teach people how to treat you. It's a perimeter around you. It's your life. Like everything is based on you. Um, you feel like first of all you're in a little cage, and you really can't get out. And your addictions or everything are a little bit stronger, or whatever. Build a little fence around your little boundaries. You don't want to let people in or let in a small capacity. Do it slowly but surely. Um, something about Bruce Alexander um, and Rat Park. I don't know if I'm not sure what that means. Might be something to Google. Life, it doesn't have to block you in. Some of 5 people to spend time with. Some boundaries you have to block in. We accept the reality we are born in. Sometimes it's too late when we realize, but we're ingrained in us and we feel blocked in. This is actual acute withdrawal symptom with addiction, not my addiction. And you break down your personal fence. Um, and it all starts with the iceberg consequences, which no one ever really thinks. You know, quitting is at the top, and the water and the bottom is like everything that's below it. So there's a book called Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Um, we are always aware of our conscious thoughts. Unconscious means behind the scenes or subconscious. Um, uncan. The weeds. Why do you think like this when you're weeding a mind in your garden? If you got a garden, obviously you're gonna weed it. Otherwise, there's weeds are gonna just keep taking over. So you have to treat your mind like a garden. Um, shit planted in their head for days or for years. You have to take account of what we're exposed to. Commit to your garden. You must work and constantly weed and plant. Again, rat in her cage. Smashing pumpkins. That's what that's all about. Mental health is what that is. When we leave detox, you realize that you're dealing with the iceberg that's underneath the water. So be prepared. John Lennon here. The voice, but not the kind of thing you can hear. You know, it's a thought, but you know you can hear it. Um, and then there's Google positive thoughts, live and breathe motivation. And that's what I have from Detox Notes. So that's everything I got from you. That's what I learned. Um, so we'll leave it at that because that's all I have from that. And then we'll do something else next time. So that's Detox 101 from me. Or that's what I learned when I went. So again, if you're looking for help, go get it. You don't think about it, just do it. It's a stigma, things are changing. It's changing it's changing just like veganism is getting better all the time. Mental health is getting looked at different all the time because, now that like the children are coming, anxious. Now they're realizing, well, fuck, all adults are like that too. So, yeah. So thank you for listening. Hugs and kisses to all. Sobriety to all. Hugs and kisses to my little vegan people. Stay sober out there, all. 2-4.